everyone, and welcome to today's video. I've got Maya here with me today. She just got a bath, so she's nice and fresh and clean. But yeah, so today I'm going to talk about something that I've been wanting to make for a little while, a video on like paint parties, and if you wanted to have like a fun night at your house and just like have a bunch of friends over and make some really cool art and everything you would need to know for that. And I want to make this video because I think it just can be like really overwhelming. I've hosted a painting event before and it can be really confusing to know like what to buy, how much paint to buy, what size canvases. So I'm going to go through all of that with like paint tube comparisons, canvas size comparisons, so that you can see them all side by side and that you can decide and host a paint party. So let's get into it. Okay, so also in this video I wanted to go through some ideas that I had too so that you can screenshot them and use them, and then we'll kind of get into that too. If you want to do something different, like some line art or some texture art is really popular right now, so I'll go through those as well. So let's start with sizes and kind of like the materials that you'll need no matter what option that you choose. If you want to go with just like a traditional paint night, or if you want to go with a texture paint night, or if you want to do just like some like simple line art. So the first thing that you'll need is a canvas. I'll go through sizes on that. The first size that you might consider is like super tiny, but you could even do like a couple of these. This is a 5x7, and this is a panel, so we'll talk about that too. So panels versus canvas. The panels are nice because you can frame them, but to put them on a wall you'd have to use command strips on the back. There's no other option to hang other than command strips or framing it. But panels are nice because they don't sag. Like a canvas you could dent it. So the next size option is an 8x10. So I'll hold this up so you can kind of see it, and then compared to the 5x7, you can kind of see like the size difference there. So this is a little bigger, and then this is a canvas, so you could just hang this right on the wall with a hook. So this one is a 9x12. This is a panel that I have started painting on, but I'll also use this to kind of like explain later. So this is 11x14, and I personally think this is probably the best size for like a little painting party. I think this is like perfect because it fits really well in like a small wall on a room. Like here I have like a wall with a window, and it would like fit really nicely. I think it's a good size too. I think this is like good for about like 2 hours worth of painting. And so this is probably the size I would go with. But if you want to go a little bit bigger, we have 12x16. This could also be a really good size to use. So I'm going to put these all together. They're kind of like the bigger ones. And I'll flip this around so you can kind of like see the contrast in the sizes. So 9x12, 11x14, and then 12x16. So that's all those sizes, and then I'll put the 8x10 here. Ba-ba-dum. So these are some of the different size options that I think could be really cute. I think the 5x7 could be cute if you want to do like 2 or 3. Okay, so let's get into now some of like the other supplies that you'll need. Probably stuff that you already have around your house, honestly, like pencils. I would use either small paper plates or a paint palette. These have like the little wells in them. You could get these on Amazon. You can get them at like any craft store really. But if you're going to be doing it a lot, like these are nice and reusable. The paint will just peel out of here. Or if it's just like a one and done, you might want to just go for paper plates, especially if you already have them. Okay, so next we'll get into brushes. So for paint brushes, I would recommend just getting a variety pack and sharing, getting like, depending on how many people you have, they have like 25 packs or even 50 packs of brushes, and it's just nice to get like a variety of sizes. And some of them come with palette knives. These are not necessary unless you want to do a texture piece, which I'll get into. But yeah, a lot of these sample packs will come with like big flat brushes for like painting in like the whole surface, small and like medium ones, and then you're gonna want like a small detail brush too. So that's that for brushes, just like any really like variety pack will do. Okay, so before we get into paint, the other thing, if you're doing like a party where everyone's like dressed up, it's like really cute aesthetic and like everyone's in like their sundresses and stuff, I would probably get some of these little like smock things. You could get these online as well, or just tell everyone to put a t-shirt, like a really like baggy t-shirt on over. But these are nice to kind of like protect your clothes because acrylic paint doesn't really come off your clothes. So this would be a good idea, or just wear clothes that you don't mind getting a little paint on. So let's get into paints and sizes, which I found was the most confusing because it's like, how much paint do you need? And so I have a bunch of tubes here. Okay, so there's a ton of options when it comes to paint. How much do you need depends on how many people that are coming over, what kind of painting that you're doing, and like whether you're doing line art or if you're doing texture paint. It all kind of depends. So if you're doing something kind of like a more traditional like style painting, like something like this, you would probably want to go for, I would say, anywhere between half an ounce to 1 ounce of paint per color per person. So that would be like kind of like what I would suggest for that kind of like style. Now, if you want to do like texture paint, it would probably be less, only because you're mixing it in with so much modeling paste, and I'll get into that a little bit later. And then if you're doing line art, less as well paint, because you'll need less paint as well, because it's you're just really painting the background and it's not like so much layers and like build up of value and stuff. So when it comes to paint, there's like 3 sizes that I kind of recommend, and I wanted to do like side by side comparison of. And so there's this one, which is 2.4 ounces. There's this, which I believe is about 4 ounces. Yeah, this is 4 ounces. And then this is 8.5 ounces. So it just kind of depends like how many people are coming over, and like what size you want to go with. You could get value packs with these two where there's like a bunch of, or like variety packs with these where there's a bunch of colors, or this size is really frequently just like in the store where you could just take off the shelf and you just pick the colors that you want. But this size is probably more likely to come in a pack where there's multiple. So this is probably like the size options that I would go with if you're having like 4 to 8 people over, and then if you're having more, opt for the bigger tubes. And then they also have like these really small tubes, which would probably, I mean, if everyone's doing different colors, like maybe, but this is too small for what you need. So I would go for, probably the smallest I would go is 2 ounces. Okay, so the next item I want to talk about, which is definitely a bougie splurge, you could get these online, but they're like these cute little tabletop easels. They are so adorable and fun, but they're kind of pricey. I got these at Michael's in their bulk, Michael's Pro section, and it comes out to like $10 each, but I think when you buy them individually, it's almost double. So it's kind of expensive. But yeah, if you want to do a bougie splurge, you get these. They have other ones online. These are just the ones that I've used. But yeah, you could definitely price shop online. You could probably find them cheaper elsewhere. Okay, so now that we've talked about like a lot about the materials that you'll need, let's get into like styles and like specific items that you need for like different styles of artwork. And I'm gonna hold all of these up for you. So you could like screenshot them if you want to use any of these designs. There's obviously so many designs online, or you could use your own pictures, but these are kind of like the traditional style. Like hold that up so you could kind of like screenshot it if you wanted to use them. But I have a bunch of these like flower paintings in a very like traditional, just like white background, but like super cute, and I love them together actually. Like if you were to line them up, I think it'd be really cute. These in this size and this style, they take about 45 minutes, but obviously more time if you go with a larger canvas. And this one, so yeah, these would be really cute. All the materials that I listed, that's just what you would need for these. There's nothing like extra that you would need. except for the other thing that I didn't mention, but it's just kind of obvious. It's just like a little cup of water to rinse your brush in. Now, I'll get into the second style, which is like a texture paint, which is so fun. Hold these up. These are just like really, something that you probably wouldn't want to like I mean, you could screenshot them and copy it, but it's more fun, I think, if you just kind of do it intuitively and do whatever pattern is kind of like coming to you in that moment. But yeah, these are really, really cute as well. For this, you will need palette knives as well. So if you're getting a brush set, make sure it comes with some palette knives, and then you can make these different like shapes and stuff. So for these like orange kind of like dots here, that I used this like larger, more like wide palette knife. And then for these petals in here, it's a smaller palette knife, like something with this shape would be more for that. So yeah, that's the texture paint. And so for these you would need modeling paste, or I know there's even like DIY recipes for at home that you could look up and create your own kind of modeling paste at home, which I have not tried, but I have seen other people do it with much success, so you could totally look into that. Now, you would not ever need this size, but this is the best modeling paste I've ever used. This is the golden, what's called molding paste, but Liquitex has modeling paste that's really good as well. Just get a way smaller size, like, I don't know, 8 to 16 ounces probably go maybe 16, but this is 128 ounces now. But if you do, you know, texture art a lot, then you get a bigger tub. And then lastly, I want to talk about line art. It's something that I am fairly new to, but I really have been loving. So line art, these are the 8x10s, which I think is such a good size for these. And these are on panels because I do plan to frame them. But the line art is fun. So there's two things that you will need for line art in addition to like the paints, brushes, and canvases, and that is some painter's tape. The one that I recommend is this like clean release tape, but any blue painter's tape will work. And paint markers. So the ones that I have here are the Posca ones. They're really, really good. And you could get any color, so but just like a thin black, like fine tip one is what I used for all of these. So I'm gonna hold these up so you could screenshot the design as well. For this one I have like 2 sunflowers. So to do these, I actually painted the background in off-white first, so this is not the canvas on like this little outline here, but you could just leave it plain white. So you could either paint that first, let it dry, and then tape over it, or just tape over the plain canvas with the blue tape. You can measure however thick you want it, and then paint over. So I have my halfway done kind of piece here. So this one's a little bit bigger, but you can see I put the tape down here and then painted over it, and then when you're done, you just off and it creates like a really smooth line. So yeah, and then once that's dry, all you would do is you can either draw it with pencil first, or you can go straight in, which is risky. But draw it with pencil first, that's what I did. You draw your design, and I think these are really cute when they overlap the center color, which you can make any color you want. I mixed brown and white for all of these. These are my little lemons, so I'll hold these up. And yeah, these are really cute as well. Okay, and then I've got tulips, which is inspired by an old painting that I did. I will hold this up. And then my last line art are these little like kind of whimsical grassy stem laurel-y patterns. I don't know what kind of plant this is, just kind of a design that I came up with. But yeah. So those are 3 options for a paint party night. I hope everything made sense, and I hope that if you're watching this, you throw a paint party and just have the best time. So yeah, these are I'll hold them up again. My 3 options for a paint party. You can go like traditional, texture funky, or some super mod line art. And yeah, oh, one more thing. So, not really needed, but if you want to get super fancy, you could get a little glossy varnish, or they even have like matte or like satin varnishes. If you wanted, when it dries, you could put a little varnish over. But yeah, definitely not needed. The paint is like, acrylic paint is UV resistant on its own, but if you wanted to put on more just for like added protection or a little shine, you could put varnish on too. But yeah, that completes this video of our paint night, throwing the perfect paint night party. Kind of like explanations, walkthroughs, side-by-side comparisons of paint, canvas sizes, all the materials that you'll need. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful paint party if you have one, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.